Hello, I'm Andy Norman, founder of Antek Automation, and welcome to Quick Tips, the show where I take one real problem facing small businesses and give you something practical to do about it. Imagine a potential client phones your business, leaves their details with what they think is a member of your team, gets told you offer a specific service at a specific price, and books a slot. Then they turn up and none of it was true. The AI made it up. That is not a technology problem. That is a trust problem. And in professional services, trust is the only currency that matters. Now, a lot of people hear AI voice agent and they picture a chatbot with a microphone. Something bolted on, something generic, something that sort of handles calls the way a vending machine sort of handles hunger. What I want to talk about today is the difference between that and a voice agent that is actually configured to work. One where you, the business owner, are in genuine control of what it says, what it does, and when it stops. The first practical point is this: define hard boundaries before you switch anything on. That means deciding upfront what your voice agent is allowed to say and, more importantly, what it is never allowed to say. No invented prices, no services you don't offer, no policies you haven't agreed. Early AI systems were unpredictable. You could give them a prompt and hope for the best, but they would wander. Newer systems and configuration frameworks give you the ability to set response boundaries that the agent genuinely respects. If a caller asks something outside those boundaries, the agent says so plainly and moves the conversation forward, rather than filling the gap with something plausible but wrong. This is not a nice to have, it is the whole point. The second point is about your intake process, and this is where a lot of businesses go wrong. They pick up an off-the-shelf tool, connect it to their phone number, and expect it to understand their business. It doesn't. Off-the-shelf tools are built for breadth. They can field basic questions across dozens of industries, but they don't know whether a caller wants a consultation or has an emergency. They don't know which question to ask first in your specific workflow. A properly configured voice agent is different because it's built around how you actually work. What information do you need before booking? In what order? What signals tell you a caller is ready to commit? What language matches your brand? All of that lives in the configuration. The agent follows your process, not a generic script. The third point is escalation, and this is the one I feel most strongly about. In my years doing field service work, I learned quickly that the most dangerous person on a job is someone who doesn't know the limits of their own competence. The same is true for a voice agent. You need a clear, tested path for the moment a call goes beyond what the agent is set up to handle. A caller who is distressed, a situation that requires judgment, a question the agent hasn't been trained on. At that point, the agent should not guess. It should hand off smoothly and immediately to a human who can take it from there. That handoff, when it happens, how it's triggered, what the agent says before it transfers, needs to be as deliberately designed as the rest of the call flow. Leave it to chance and you will eventually have a caller fall through the gap at the worst possible moment. I've seen both sides of this. Businesses that deployed voice tools quickly and had to pull them back because the agent was causing more problems than it was solving. And businesses that took the time to configure things properly and now have a system that handles a meaningful share of their inbound calls without a human needing to be involved at all. The difference was not the technology. The technology is broadly the same. The difference was control. If you want to go deeper on this, the full write-up is on the Antek Automation blog. Link is in the episode notes, and it covers the specific layers of configuration that separate a voice agent that converts from one that confuses. I'm Andy Norman. This has been Antek Automation. Find us at antekautomation.com, and I'll see you on the next one.